Fireball.
Fireball.
Make it up as you go.
So what are the job classes? Is it like chemist and squire
Oh,
and
and I
knight?
should putting some chairs in here as you're talking, just so you know, to fill up the room.
Wait, you want me to continue talking?
Aren't you running a panel in?
No, you're running the goddamn pit!
Oh, I remember him specifically saying that he was going to run the panel. You remember that, right?
Guys, I don't know the difference between D&D and Final Fantasy Tactics, okay?
Apparently not. Do you want to try mine?
They're both great games.
Do you want to try his? Do you like sweet?
Is that the phone game, Final Fantasy Tactics?
Final Fantasy Tactics.
No,
That's
wow.
really sweet.
Oh,
Just
okay.
one game.
This is a
Oh,
water.
Oh.
This water has a fantastic year. One moment, I must enjoy this water. Holy shit, that's the sweetest thing I ever drank. Wow, what is this, Riesling that you jizzed in?
It's called Sirocco.
Sirocco? So it is Riesling.
Moscato.
It's a Moscato. It's a clear
Sparkling
Moscato.
So,
Moscato.
Alkali, do you have everything that you need for this panel?
I do, in fact.
All right. See, so at this point, then you get.
Oh,
the
are you
help.
training them?
I am training them.
Are you guys trying to do this? Okay, here's how it goes. I need things! What does this say? That says I needed it. Go get it. I'm a panelist. Hi, Spoon. Your tweets are rude. You panelist to Alkali. I'm angry. I want 4 refunds.
At this rate, you're not going to have any staff, and you're going to run this con by yourself until I find you hanging from the balcony.
I'm so sorry about everything. I love your Twitter, man. I love your Twitter. I really hate your Twitter.
Only when I talk about Germans, you have something against them for some reason.
They have a great brick oven pizza, I'm telling you. All right, guys. Actually, hold on.
It's a little earthy.
This is Alkali going off radio.
So what we'll do is we'll come back.
Sorry about that, guys. I am. Fire Team had to change their name to F Team because there was an incident.
Yes.
With the hotel going, oh my God, there's a fire. Like, no, that's the name of a team. They're like, oh. Change it. Can we call them the F team? Like you can call them the F-bombs. So John is now F-bomb with his glorious Fs. This is my life. All right, guys, we're going to do something a little weird today. We're going to do something really random. So this panel is called D&D. Now, we are going to not only play some D&D in here, we're going to teach you a brand new game. Now, I have known this game for longer than any LARP tabletop game I've ever played. I've known it longer than almost any game besides maybe Monopoly, and it's harder to throw this one across the room. So, guys, I am going to teach you right now how to play Camp RP. All you need to play Camp RP is 1 or 2 decks of cards. This is every rule in the game, because what is a role-playing game? A role-playing game is a world that you are going to make up in your head. A DM is going to sit there, and he is going to be physics. He is going to be life. He is going to try to make this world fun for you. You guys are players. You are going to be a person in a set of rules. In this game, those rules are real life. Physics exists. Everything that you can do in this world, you can do in that game. But now you have to remember that line. It wasn't the word should do. It wasn't the word would do. It was the word could do. Would any of you jump out of a plane?
No.
Would any of you survive jumping out of a plane without a parachute?
No.
Has somebody ever survived jumping out of a plane with a parachute? So it can happen, and that's what this game is about. This game is real life with the insanity in there. If it can happen, it could happen. And all you need to play it is a deck of cards. Because a deck of cards is your random number generator. You can literally do anything with this deck of cards. I've kept the rules of play in there before. Just to be silly, but you could do it. For the purposes of this game, we're going to start with 1 deck, ace through king, 52 cards. playing this game, all you need to know is that the deck of cards is 52 cards. There are 4 suits. There are 2 colors. Each suit contains 13 different cards. And now we have a random number generator. You can't roll dice around a fire at a campsite. You'll lose the die. Okay? This game works everywhere. We have played this game driving to Anthrocon before. And this is how it works. You find yourself at a convention, this convention, sitting in a room, listening to a tall, fat fuck tell you about a new game. It was a really cold night this night. In fact, the weather outside was absolutely terrible. Some of you drove here today. Some of you just arrived. Who has arrived at this convention in the last hour? You arrived at this convention in the last hour. Your trip was a little treacherous. Your trip was a little dangerous. In fact, your trip was so treacherous that a truck came out of absolutely nowhere and tried to swerve you off the road. You know, you need to have some pretty good reflexes to do that. Would you say you have good reflexes? Or would you say that you're more of a strength guy? Are you stronger or quicker? Quicker. From now on, you need to remember that for the purposes of this game, you are quick, not strong. This is a quickness reflex save. It's just a truck moving towards you. You have 3/4 chance of making it. I'm making up a number. 1 out of 4 chance. What suit do you not want to pull right now?
Clubs.
If he pulls a clubs, he's about to get murdered by a truck. Guard. The truck comes around, and you narrowly swerve and miss it, realizing that your life is way more important than that truck, so you shoot out a tire. You are wanted by the police, my friend, but it's okay, because you're dexterous. Guys, that's how simple this game is, and that's the game that we are all about to play. You can create your own character. You can be you. You can be more than you, and it doesn't matter, because we are all about to play this game together. We're going to play it as a team. We're going to play it as individuals. You're all going to start building yourselves in this. Now, we only have an hour or so. But guys, this is a beautiful game to play with friends on any kind of a trip, around a campfire, sitting around and drinking. You know why? Because all you need to play it is a deck of cards and imagination. And that is the glory, and that is the beauty, and that is why this weekend we are having a con that is totally based around the role-playing game. We are furries. We have imagination. You sick sons of bitches. But this is going to let us break out of this world. This is going to let you be who you can't be, who you want to be. Don't necessarily have to base your characters off of yourself. You just need to know that the characters are you. So that being said,
Hey, it's kind of bad.
even Des made it? Des!
I need a hotel room.
And he must go. As you're sitting in the room, Vandez storms into the room going, "Oh my God, somebody shot out the tires of a truck next to me." The truck swerved. It narrowly missed me, and I had to exit the highway because my heart was pounding so quickly. And when I walked out, I found this, and he holds up a round, swirling ball. A glass globe inside of it, looking like, instead of a snow globe, an actual hurricane inside of the globe. He goes, "Well, I gotta go to my room," and throws it into the audience. What do you do?
Grab it.
I heard the first person over here say, "Catch it." He threw it. Who said to catch it?
Right here.
Okay, you said duck?
I said
Okay, hold on, I like that. He threw it in this general direction. You're going to try to catch. You're going to try to duck.
And I'm going to try to...
But one of you might be wrong. Name a color.
Black.
Black. Name a color. Are you going to go with her or against her? Red. All right, they are going versus. So you are trying to duck out of the way while you were trying to catch it. You took red, correct?
I did black.
You took black. Cut the deck. The orb flies through the air. And as he tries to duck out of the way, he barely moves. She catches it and smashes it against the back of your head. Because you are an asshole, sir. That was flying right at her, and you didn't protect her. Chivalry, my friend.
I cast magic missile!
You haven't got magic missile yet. Damn it. So you, being angry at this, infamous monster smash an orb over the back of his head. Because it's the style at the time.
I drove across 3 states for this.
You drove across 3 states for this?
States for this.
State, name a number or a face card.
Oh no, I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, you shouldn't have.
7.
7, he drove across 3 states. He's looking for 7. 5, 7. And one of those states was amazing. You couldn't believe it. You found a Renaissance fair. It was incredible. And as you're walking around looking at the chainmail bikinis for no apparent reason,
That looks like that pinch.
the one thing you did find was a chainmail collar. So as she slams the orb against the back of your head, instead of cutting the back of your neck, it merely shatters, possibly dooming the world.
Or at least the asshole is protected.
What kind of chainmail bikini did you buy?
Your Christmas gift!
The orb falls to the ground. The room is surrounded in cold. Every single person in here can feel the chill right down to the bones. You've heard the term that it's so cold you can feel it in your bones. No, your bones are cold. The cold is emanating from within you.
I revel in it.
And one of you can revel in it. And one of you, just one of you, you find the cold a little bit more to your liking. Who in this room thinks that cold weather, I mean nice, freezing cold weather is the way to go? Okay, we're going to start over here. Keep your hands up. Name a number or name a card.
Jack.
No, name.
King.
No, name.
Joker.
No, name.
7.
No, name.
5.
No, name.
Blake.
Blade? No, I don't have a 10. Not 10. Jack.
4.
4. So far, Jack is the closest. No, you are 1 away. Ace? No. Brett?
Queen.
Queen? No. There was that 7 that you were looking for. 9. No. 6. 2. 5 and
5.
5. 4. We have 2 people that were 1 away, and Sarah then.
King.
King 3. The 2 of you. Here we go. Ready? You were first. Name black or red?
Red.
Red. Cut the deck. The cold spills into the room and immediately flows into this gentleman's body, being 1 away with his card and getting the final match. You watch his skin turn a pale, icy blue. You watch a crown form upon his head. He gains a bunch of weight, and he's talking about Finn the Human non-stop. Ice King has formed!
Oh
Now we find out if he's
Yeah.
benevolent or evil.
But Ice King? It depends on what season you're in.
no! Also, where's the penguins?
Oh, we haven't made the penguins yet. We haven't made the penguins at all.
Oh no.
Roll.
I will do this.
I will roll a giant D20.
And he cast Baneful Polymorph, which you definitely don't say. You're a penguin now.
You need a cigar.
Wrong penguin, but I like your style. Guys, the Ice King has formed at Fursquared.
Yay.
Our nipples are hard. It is cold in here, fuckers. And our penguin,
This is the new.
and we have a penguin.
I'm looking for a pebble.
All right, guys, we have problems. Magic exists in this world.
Yay!
That's not a problem.
It is if you're the fucking Ice King. Over here, I haven't heard from this side of the room much. Guys, magic might exist in this world. I don't want a reaction. I want to know what you do.
Lightning bolts from the fingertips.
No!
Yes! That's on everyone.
I think one of the sharks gonna go.
I'm going with this group. I haven't heard much from them. What do you guys do? Magic exists. Bear in mind, this is your imagination. I don't care if this makes sense. I don't care if you're literally playing Star Trek and talking about the deflector dish. Do it.
Gain the ability to refill things.
Stock up on ores.
The ability to refill things.
That's nice.
Think about it.
Alright! Alright! Hold on! I love this! The magic flows through the room. The chill flows through your bones. Ice King forms, stands up, throws a bolt of energy over at Fox, who turns into into a penguin. This is happening. And the first thought that comes to your head is, I want the ability to refill things. The magic flows through you. Now let's see exactly how this works. This could have a positive or a negative effect, so we're still going to go with the black or red. Name a color, black or red. Red. We'll cut the deck. Top card is... You don't get the ability to refill things. Your ability is to flush any toilet from anywhere. So now, you have the ability to telekinesis flush toilets. Congratulations on your newly found power. Remember, with great power, go get toilet paper.
Wait, isn't there a thing where if you flush all the toilets at once in the world, like...
Who knows? He would have to try it.
Does that make him the real Super Mario?
What's up?
Does that make him the real Super Mario?
Do you want to become the real Super Mario?
Does that make him the real Super Mario?
Oh my god. No, he hates turtle soup. Back in the room over here. Magic exists. This guy just flushed the toilet from across the hotel. You don't know how, but you know he did it. What's the first thing that comes to your head? Draining the blood out. We have a necromancer in the group. Son of a shit. All right. Now you were specific, and I like that. So you're going for a very specific power, which means you're going to need a very specific thing. You don't get to pick a color. You're picking a suit. Spades, diamonds, clubs, or hearts. What suit?
Hearts.
Hearts, which please cut the deck.
Necromancer goes for the heart.
Necromancer always goes for the heart or the lungs. You picked heart and diamonds. But it was the same color, so you don't quite get necromancy. What you get, you know how marionette dolls work? Okay, you can do that, but only to dead relatives. You need some connection. You need a connection with them. But you're very sure that with the power of your mind and with moving your fingers, you can make dead relatives dance around. But unless you learn to throw your voice, it's going to be very difficult. Guys, this is Camp D&D. This is how the game works. I wanted to share something with you because me and my friends have been playing stuff like this for years. It has made car rides a million times more fun. We have thrown decks of cards out the window. If you were ever driving one, why is there a deck of cards on the... You know why? That's because this character of 3 years died. He had to not draw the 4 of clubs. He had to not draw the devil's bedposts. And we almost died because he swerved the car. It was a good death. It was a good death. But guys, this panel was about D&D. So that's what we're going to talk about now. I wanted to introduce you guys to a game that anyone can play. Literally, guys, just remember this. The rules don't matter. Rules don't matter. Rules have never mattered. And I wanted to start with that game specifically for that concept. Because here's my biggest tip for running a D&D game. And that is, the rules don't matter. The DM needs to keep the game going. You need physics. You need to have a core idea of what is going on. But if somebody wants to take a magic missile and cast it while fisting their friend, there's no rules for that, but damn if it's not a good time. And that's the beauty. That is the beauty of D&D. That's the beauty of most role-playing games is, guys, let it happen. Let it happen. Let your players run wild. It is your job to keep them in there, not by ever saying no, but by reminding them that actions have consequences. And that's the second tip I have for you, for anyone who wants to play D&D. Guys, do whatever you want. Use your imagination to create these wild, outlandish characters. But remember, actions have consequences, and eventually you're going to throw a deck of cards out the window. Hi! Guys, Twitch, the D&D bard, Strum. We're having a little bit of fun talking about D&D, and we're going to play a quick game. They just played Camp D&D. It's fine. This is the bard, Strum. Hold on, is that oil? How are you drinking anally again? Oh, Jesus Christ, you are. I love you all. You terrify me. So, guys, here's what we want. We want to do in this panel. We did want to take you through some part of a D&D game, but right now we obviously are still doing some major setups. So we're going to turn this panel into a Q&A. What I want to do here is I want you guys to play. I do want everyone here to play D&D. You're going to have a lot of opportunities this weekend. There are games going on of D&D at this convention all weekend, run by some people I've known for most of my life. Skylar Raintail, he's an outstanding DM. He's good. There he is. He's going to be running a game for you. Seraphim, I can't remember. I forgot. You're doing something. I already forgot what you're doing. You're running a panel. Go to Seraphim's panel.
Beginning Dungeon Mastering.
That's it. Beginning Dungeon Mastering. So, guys, there is a lot of D&D games this weekend. You have to try it. D&D is a game that until you experience it, you really don't understand what you're getting into because, like, oh, don't try being furry. We just are furries. One day you wake up and you're like, puppies are adorable. Yeah, then you're a furry. Circle of life is scary. So, guys, we're not going to end it right here. I do need to, unfortunately, get a few rooms cleaned up. This gentleman over here might give me a hand with this. So, guys, what are your questions about D&D? What have you always been curious about? What made you come to this panel to understand what a role-playing game was in the first place? What sparked your interest? That's what I want to know. So what is it about this weird world of role-playing that really caught your attention? Now, I know two of you in this room have been LARPing for almost as long as dirt. You might have been LARPing for a little while. Okay, more dirt. You look young.
Dirt. What's one change that you would make to to the game system that you play the most?
What's one change I would make to the D&D system?
Official change.
D&D is a beautiful system as is because so you have to remember the number one rule of D&D. The DM is right.
I changed that one.
Yeah, no. See, that's the thing. If you would change that one, you should change DMs. You have to have a good DM. The trick to D&D is your DM, and unfortunately that's very difficult. It takes a lot to be a good DM, but there is overplanning. I was the worst overplanner for years. I was a terrible DM. Shut up! I had a map for everything. I had a map of this entire city, and I couldn't wait for them to come in. They came in and burned it to the ground because it was made of wood. I set my map on fire.
I had a DM who went and did an entire book. And then I came into the thing and made him throw away half of it.
We had a gentleman who ran Nero with us years ago. He made the Necronomicon, a rep in game. It was beautiful. He did such detail on this book. He had the cover totally painted, all hand done. But it was an illegal item in game. And you know what he never considered? That the equivalency of a paladin would get it. He brought out a blender. Shredded the book right in front of Chad. And Chad just looked like, that was a lot of work, but we will remember this forever. And then he turned into a lich and killed half the room. Because you know what? Don't destroy the Necronomicon. I'm just saying. It's a scary, scary thought. Hey guys, what brought you to this room? What made you consider learning about role-playing, about D&D, about RPGs? This is tabletop, by the way. And if you have done it, by the way, Baldur's Gate, Divinity Original Sin, that's as close as you can get to a tabletop game on your computer. And I'll tell you right now, those games are magnificent.
Neverwinter Nights is a solid one.
Neverwinter Nights, thank you. I like 2. Neverwinter Nights 2 was my bench.
There's a lot of good stuff.
Any of that style, yeah.
Wizardry 8,
Oh,
if you can
yes.
put up with never being able to run away from combat.
That's true.
Okay. So guys, before I did want to know, who has questions, anything at all about RPGs? Bill.
There's, at this point, a bunch of different versions of D&D.
Yes.
Which version should somebody try out?
All right, if you're looking to start D&D, here's what I will tell you. They have made some beautiful, beautiful changes and simplified and made it so much better. 5th edition is the place to start right now. 5th edition is where you start. Now that being said, I love complexity. I like a game where we will have to go into a room and sit down with 8 source books to try to figure out how we're going to get a drakeling to grow into a dragon in 7 hours. And by the way, there is a way to do it using 8 different spells, comparing them, looking at component. You can actually do shit. That's 3.5.
Yes.
That is a stack of books like
Pathfinder,
this.
yeah.
It is not where you want to start this game. 5th edition is beautiful. 5th edition is 3 books to learn the game. And you just need to know some basic stuff about RPGs. You need to know about the glorious 20-sided dice. Everyone's best friend and
dodecahedron!
worst enemy. Don't break my ceiling until you roll another one. It
That
was And by the way, just so you guys know, because I actually had somebody ask me this, you can play it with a single set of dice, which anyone who's sponsored here just got as part of their sponsor swag. And if you haven't picked up your stuff yet, don't forget Dealer's Den has your sponsor swag. So we are giving... What's up? Did they? That is my director of artist relations. She runs that, so if she said not open tomorrow, then it's not open till tomorrow. That's fine. But yeah, guys, that's a full set of dice right there. You don't need 200 dice. You don't. I know people who have it.
500.
You have 500 dice?
I like playing wizards with lots of dice.
That's like a ball pit of dice.
Not really.
That sounds fun.
Why do you not have a ball pit of dice here?
I had a gentleman I gamed with for years, and he was just like you guys. He had more dice than you could ever need. And as we're sitting, this is the first time I played with him. He lived in a 3rd-story condo, and he rolled a 1 on his 20-sided. And he kept a gallon Ziploc baggie on the table of his other 20s. And he picked up the whole gallon and the single 20-sider, walked to his porch, said he rolled a 1, and threw it into traffic. And then sat back down the table and pulled out another 20-sider. You know him. Knows.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I just recently got a really nice set of the metal things.
Oh, there's some beautiful dice.
So what you do is you have a fish tank.
You have a fish tank of dice with fish.
So the dead, no fish.
No, you have to have the fish. The fish can roll the dice for you.
Right, but now you throw the dead dice in
Flipper,
there.
go! Critical hit! Guys, who has other questions? Yes.
I played first edition.
First edition was
Free
awesome.
Saturday. So what's the big difference between first and fifth?
Jesus Christ. You are, at that point, you were talking
Everything.
about 2 different games.
Different games.
Yes, you were talking about the concept being there, but first edition to second edition with some major changes. Second edition to 3.0 and 3.5, you're literally talking night and day. If you go from 1 to 5,
And we don't
relearn.
talk about 4th edition. No.
4th edition doesn't. Okay, hold on. If there was a whole class of people who played World of Warcraft, okay, and then I played World of Warcraft. There's nothing wrong with World of Warcraft, but 4th edition was. This game is about combat, and here is a clever combat system. They did have a clever combat system, but it was missing everything else.
Yes.
In my opinion, 4th edition was a great way to sit around a table. It was almost like a board game. It was you versus the DM. He made monsters, you killed them, game over. 4th edition is not my favorite. I don't recommend it. But if you're looking for literally just a reason for you and your friends to have random battles, yeah, do 4th. That's fine. I still say 5th, just for everything added to it, is better.
How many editions do they have?
D&D is 5 right now. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 3.5. Pathfinder is 3.5 with a few corrections, but 5th is...
Pathfinder is also technically by a different publisher.
Yeah, but Pathfinder was a labor of love. They said, I think this game is great, let me make it a little bit better. They did a great job. Pathfinder had amazing changes.
And 3.5 Pathfinder pretty...
Yeah, it's mainly the skills.
They just released the Starfinder. Pathfinder was
Shit like that. Okay, anyone else? Any D&D questions in the room? Or general RPG, LARPing, anything like that?
I just found out about Roll20, which is the online system.
Yes, Roll20 is a wonderful system if you have a DM who has enough time to set it up. You need to be dedicated, and it's beautiful if they are.
Would you recommend somebody who's having trouble bookbinding games try that out. And
Absolutely, I would. The difference to that one is you do need to have a little bit better of a. You need to be able to lose yourself in the game more. There's something beautiful about sitting around a table with people rather than sitting online with a headset talking to people. But I do it myself. Every once in a while I get a chance to. It's wonderful. It's still great. It is harder to lose yourself in the immersion when you're not sitting around the table. But once again, that all comes down to your DM, and at that point, your other players. The people at the table with you, the people playing with you, can make and break a game. There are bad DMs out there. There are worse players. Don't be that guy.
Can I just say something quick about Roll20?
Yeah.
If the DM gives specific rules about what you need to do in order to play the game, pay attention to those rules. If they say...
Don't send Lauren to strangers.
If the DM says, this is a fantasy game in a medieval setting, don't say, I'm going to play a robot who fires guns all the time. This happened to my group.
Yeah, stuff like that happens. And that's, once again, bad players, bad DMs. But guys, once again, like I said before, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that's right, but there are no rules. If they're playing a medieval game and you want to be a futuristic robot gunslinger, guys, Time Stop is a D&D spell. There is absolutely robots and guns in D&D if you want there to be. But you can't spring it on your DM at the last possible second.
Right.
There's proper ways to do it. Yeah, once again, it's everything. It's everything and anything that you can imagine. And that's the beauty of it. So if you ever get to play, I want you guys to always remember that fuck the rules. Guys, do what you want. Be creative. Like, a magic missile spell is an amazing spell. It's probably the best first level damaging spell that you will ever have.
Prismatic Express.
Who the hell cares? Don't take that spell. Take the weird one that lets you flush every toilet in the world. Because you know what? Magic missile is going to be useful 9 out of 10 times.
Vicious mockery.
Flushing all the toilets in the world is going to be useful once. Which story are you guys going to remember?
I like color spray.
Yes.
I love color spray. I love color spray because I was playing a homosexual character, and that's how I entered a room. Yeah! You're stunned!
And you're vomiting.
And you're vomiting. Oh, that was prismatic spray. Sorry, I went a little bit high there. Question, yes.
So when you say that there's D&D first, second, third, 3.5, are you counting AD&D in that, or is AD&D?
There was, okay,
Is
D&D
second
and first edition and AD&D, those are all interchangeable. But
Okay.
I would say at that point, because of the similarities between everything, the difference between D&D, especially because of how small, like that didn't really get out. It's AD&D, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could really get into some crazy versions that have existed in smaller segments. Because don't forget, Gygax, when he created this, I mean, D&D was originally for a group of people who met in Wisconsin. Help me out, it is Wisconsin. Geneva, thank you, Lake Geneva, yes. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, there's incarnations. And then don't forget about all the other, I have books for games that existed for a month. Like, there's the hero system. Do you like calculus? Try the hero system.
Buckets of dice.
But, oh, dear God. Do you like dying a lot? Meet Cthulhu. Do you not like dying? Bunnies and burrows.
World Tree?
World Tree. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll tell you stories on that.
But once again, like, I have these books because I wanted them. I DM quite a bit, so I was looking for inspiration. Any one of these games, with your imagination and a little bit of patience, can be turned into any of the other ones. You own Call of Cthulhu, you know the rule set for Call of Cthulhu, but you want to play a medieval game? Well, then it's a medieval game. When I first started playing D&D, for some reason, a year in, we wanted to play a Western. So you know what we did? We turned it into a Western. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. You don't need 100 books. You don't even need anything past the source books. What you need is an understanding amongst the table, yourselves, your DM, and your players, not to break the game. The second you break the game, everyone stops having a good time. If you ever want an example of that, and I did enjoy him, and if you're a fan, I apologize, this is just my opinion, watch Matt Mercer's Critical Role, watch Orion, before they realized all of 5th edition and were letting him quick cast 3rd level spells. He took out a Hydra by himself, and everyone else at the table, you could see their faces like, oh, Hydra! It's over. Guys, power gaming, finding the trick, and we have a rule at my table. And if you ever DM, I really suggest this rule. This is probably one of the best rules we've ever come up with. It works once. Once. There have been some brilliant uses of spells. Gary Gygax is the perfect example. When Gary Gygax wrote D&D, he wrote original D&D. He wrote 1st edition. One of the first spells they had in that game was Create Water, one of my all-time favorite spells. Gary Gygax is sitting there as the DM and his friend sitting at the other side of the table, staring down the face of a red dragon because Gary Gygax did not know how to scale worth a damn. The red dragon was looking down at a bunch of 1st level players and he says, I create water! And Gary Gygax, as the dragon laughs, like, oh, you create water? He's like, yes, in his lungs. Gygax threw a conniption fit. Said, you can't do that. And they said, why not? And that is the question. Because I'll tell you this right now. You do that in my game, and I'm going to piss myself laughing. The dragon is going to drown in the middle of a desert. But after that, it won't work again. And it's going to take all of us to make that happen. We know it works. Why wouldn't it work?
Because God said determined.
Right,
no.
but why? Because God said no? No, it's going to take all of us to do that. If you want to do it again as a joke, I'm going to jokingly figure out a reason that it doesn't work. But if you're going to try to take out every boss with this 1st level spell, it was hysterical the first time. It's a story that will never be forgotten. If you use it on every boss, it's nothing. And it ruins the game. And that is, once again, DMs and the players working together to make sure the game is fun for everyone. Have fun with that, guys. Come up with the weirdest, random, weird ways to use these fucking spells, because that's my favorite part of the game. But once you come up with the brilliant maneuver, that's it. You did it. It was awesome. Yeah, figure out another one. You had your hand up. I'm so sorry. Little mouse guy.
Yeah, this rat.
You're adorable. It's a mouse.
No.
Oh, you're full of disease. You're a rat.
All right, let's get past that. Okay. So,
I like you.
This might be kind of subjective and vague, but maybe you'll get a rant out of it.
Sure.
So, I've got a game that I've been playing online. I've been DMing. It's my first time DMing. And
congratulations, best of luck.
Huh?
Congratulations
My
and best of luck.
condolences. Yes.
It's very rewarding. DMing is always a rewarding experience.
So, in the game, the characters, this will surprise absolutely everyone, but it's a game called Rats, and it's about rats.
Okay.
And generally, the characters aren't supposed to survive too long.
Yeah, I play
So
games
there's
like that.
things like that, like I know, like Paranoia is another
Yes.
one where you shouldn't expect to have your character more than a session.
If that's known going into the game, there's no problem with that whatsoever. I wouldn't suggest throwing a, what?
Where's your booze at?
Yeah, I have to do MST3K in a little while, and everyone has told me I'm going to die. I'm trying not to drink till that.
Where's it at?
Oh, operations. There are quite a bit of games that the mortality rate is insanely high, and that's fine. The only thing I recommend for that is your players need to know going in, because you are going to create a different character if you plan on getting attached to the character, which does happen. I'm not talking about, oh my god, you killed my character, now I'm going to kill myself. That doesn't happen. That shouldn't happen. I'm talking about you do like playing your character, and especially if you're going to stick with the same DM for a while, for the most part, it's going to be real life years before you play the same thing again. So if you're going to finally make the Ranger Barbarian that you've always wanted to make, and you don't realize you're playing a game with a mortality rate of 2 times a gaming session, it's really going to suck because you're not going to want to make that same character again later for a different game. As long as they understand it, no, I think it's going to go great. I love high mortality games because they make us lots of laughs and lots of corpses. Yes?
Have you heard of, are you familiar with H.C. Savantricanus?
No, I'm not familiar with that one, unfortunately.
It was just a recent furry one, so I wanted to see.
Oh, no, I'm not familiar with that one. They lent me a book, some furry RPG that's been around forever, and it was super cute.
Iron Claw?
Yeah, somebody just gave me an Iron Claw book. I read through it. I really liked it. That sounds fun. I want to be fair.
Of course.
So we just put ferrets in D&D. My players fucking hate it. They're super powerful. They are fucking ridiculous. They're all necromancers. Oh, they all cast magic. They're all necromancers, but they're all slave creatures, which is really fun if they ever figure out the backstory. Hey, you gotta hide something from them. It's no fun to discover things if they know everything already. All right, guys, we're gonna do any more questions. All right, we're going to tell you this is. A lot of what I talk about, especially when it comes down to D&D, is the magical aspect of the game. Why is that? It's because that's what we can't do in real life. RPGs, role-playing, and all that, the best part about that to me is being able to break out of reality. And magic does that. But on top of that is the fact that you can't think of everything. And that's the beauty of magic and RPGs. Since you can't think of anything, you can use those spells for anything, and I'm going to give you one of my all-time favorite examples. I had a character who had 20 points in physics, applied mathematics. And I was watching my brothers battle through a scrying circle, and we were trying to capture this character. We were going up against water elementals. It was a wonderful fight, but I was not taking part of it. I just was scrying on the whole thing. And in the game, my mother was standing next to me, her being a more powerful wizard than I could ever be. And I watched a water elemental swoop down and grab the character we were trying to basically capture ourselves and start moving away at a rate that no one could keep up with. I tell you this story for this. One, we were a house of fishermen. So I didn't just cast the spell. You have to think in the world. Don't cast sleep. Reach down into the ground, pick up some dirt and throw that in the air. That's your sleep spell. That description is going to make the game better for everyone. So what did I do? I reached up and I grabbed a net off the wall. I reached over and grabbed a piece of armor off of a suit of armor that we had in the room with us. And I walked over to my mother and I laid down a piece of paper. And I did the math. Because screw you, applied mathematics. And I figured out how fast that thing was moving, how long it would cast her to cast greater teleport, and how long it would take me to cast creation. She shot me directly in front of this creature. I used heat metal to melt the steel gauntlet in my hand and cast minor creation to make a chain link fence in front of me. I died terribly. But the guy caught in the water elemental got strained out. And that is the difference. That is the difference between sitting down and playing a game and sitting down and creating a world. You don't need to have a spell memorized. You don't need to know what it does. You don't actually need to know any of that information. What you need to know is, when you close your eyes, can you see what you're doing? Now share that with the table. That works as a DM, that works as a player, that works in every aspect of RPGs. Guys, when you are playing these games, when you are sitting here being the Ice King, being a penguin, being the most powerful caster, or the lowliest peasant, remember, that's what you are in that moment. You are not sitting at a table. You are not rolling random percentile dice. You are a powerful wizard who's about to die to create the world's biggest strainer. So guys, hopefully this will help you out here, because there's so much more I wanted to do with this panel, and I'm going to try to run this in a different con. I actually have a game that we can play as a giant group. Multiple things have happened today to make that almost impossible. There's a lot of other props I would need. I'm so sorry I wanted that to happen, and it will eventually. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I wanted this panel to be so much more, but hopefully you guys can take something away from this. So guys, enjoy the convention. I will see you at MST3K. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being at the convention, and good night. Also, I have a jock and tie over here, and I love it.